Yo, what is up? YBP gang, YBP Nation, YBP MMA, YBP Boxing for the day. And I'm coming back. Obviously, we got the prediction wrong. Gervonta Davis was able to knock out Ryan Garcia in the 7th round. He definitely impressed me. Great performance by him. But like JG said, on to the next one. What is next for Gervonta Tank Davis after a great performance, knocking out Ryan Garcia, like I said. And to be honest, it's not too many options. You know, he beat Ryan Garcia. Got Ryan Garcia, one of the top guys in the division. Gervonta's starting to, stack up. Honestly, I think he has the greatest resume, the best resume at lightweight right now. When you look at guys like Devin Haney. Devin Haney I think he's fought up to this point. Fought Cambosos twice and Jorge Linares. They look at a guy like Shakur. He just got there. He fought a Japanese guy, Phenom Shuichiro Yoshino. Lomachenko has some fights. But, you look at Gervonta Davis' whole resume so far. He has one of the best at lightweight for sure. So there's not too many other places to hide. I mean, he has to, there's no stepping down. Like, he's, fighting a guy like Garcia, like, it's only up from here. So as y'all can see in the thumbnail, I got Shakur and I got Devin Haney. Shakur, I think that's probably like less likely. I think the fight to make next is Devin Haney. Probably, I just can't see anywhere else for him to go. Like, a tune-up just wouldn't make sense, like, maybe he takes maybe some time off, but he's, everything from here on out is big fights. It's all big fights for Tank. He proved, at least domestically in America, he is the face of boxing in America. When it comes to just outside of, like in the world, I think Canelo is still the face of boxing. Just because I don't know. I just don't think you can go to, I don't think you can go to, maybe Mexico. You could go maybe Canada, but like North America. But let's say you go to someplace in Europe, Europeans. I don't know how many of them gonna know Tank for real. Who if Tank hosted a show in Europe, how many things is that selling? Canelo could go anywhere and he'll sell out. But I don't know if Tank got that worldwide reach quite yet. He's definitely heading towards that direction. Big stuff's coming for that kid for sure. But, I mentioned big stuff is coming for that kid. Not too much of a kid now. He's kind of have to grow up with his behavior outside the ring. A lot of these opportunities are going to fade away and head out the window. And as you can see in my thumbnail, I have a mugshot of Gervonta Davis. I put that there because I don't think too much attention is being put on it, but Gervonta Davis has a court case coming for, I think he's being hearing, or it's, prosecution, court hearing for his for the hit and run of a pregnant lady that took place November of 2020, I believe, and pleaded guilty to that. And I mean, it doesn't look good. I've been reading stuff about it. I think the pregnant lady, she had to get her spleen taken out. Just a whole lot of bad stuff that, honestly, someone as talented as Tank shouldn't even, he shouldn't be involved in anything like this. I look at guys even a guy like Mikey Williams. We see a lot of these athletes, these stars, they're so talented, they're so, polished, but, stuff that they do outside the ring messes up, what they have going for them. So I just hope, as much as maybe I don't, I wasn't supporting Tank Davis for his fight against Ryan Garcia. I did not think he was going to get it done, but I could respect the talent and what he does when he goes out in the ring, what he does putting on a show. He's the most consistent show in boxing. Every time you go out and you watch a Tank show, he's going to put on a show, and it's going to be entertaining. But with that being said, I mean, he does not need any of this, outside stuff, parading with his career. I'm seeing the shades of Mike Tyson going to jail for 2 years. I hope that this doesn't derail the hype that's coming. Obviously, we got to see. I'll be talking about that in the coming weeks and stuff, like the updates about that, because it's May 5th. It's coming fairly close. It's gonna be like 2 weeks. It'll probably be the day before the Henry Cejudo Aljamain Sterling fight with Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad on the co-main event slot. So I'll be making breakdowns for that too. But definitely got to keep a close eye on Gervonta Davis. What's going on with him? Because he's main attraction. I mean, all eyes are on him. He's face of boxing here in America. So that case is gonna mean a lot. That's gonna be very interesting to see how that goes. Very interestingly, that case was pushed back so this fight could even happen. If that court case doesn't get pushed back from its initial date, we're not even there. These guys aren't even fighting. So it's all fluff. I mean, when you just take it to it, you look at a guy like John Jones too. Just take into account these guys are great fighters, and John Jones took the 3 years off. Looks like he's like really good. He's great now. I don't see too much going on in his outside life. He's I heard him joking about something about like not partying and all this stuff, or you don't want to see me when I'm partying and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a lesson to all athletes, when you get to that highest level, like you just don't need any of this outside stuff. Like you need people around you to tell you, yo, chill, calm down. You don't need to be surrounding yourself and, conducting yourself in this type of manner and doing things that, in the long run, it's just going to be detrimental to your career. You look at a guy like Ryan Garcia, like he's never had to, people like to trash on him and be like, I hate to bring up Ryan because this is Gervonta's moment, But I mean, you look at a guy like Ryan, like all the sponsorships. I always said like Ryan had less to lose, like because he going into this fight, he had the built-in excuse, and it's already coming out. I was gonna make a video on this, but we could just talk about it here. It's already coming out. Sparring partners talking about, I hurt Garcia to the body, and I'm sorry you got hurt to the body. So I said 5-0, like Asian, from somewhere in Asia, I don't know. But you say I hurt him to the body, and in the fight, Tank hurt you to the body. So I apologize if I, directly contributed, something like that. He said it more, because his English isn't the best. And then there's the rehydration clause, and then there's Tank talking about there's a mole in my camp. And there's a mole that's, because they're notorious for putting spies in other people's camps and like getting information on that stuff. So, I mean, there was a lot of built-in excuses. There was all these, like, things he had to agree to. So going into this fight, I felt as if Ryan could lose this fight and he'd be all right. He's the pretty boy. He's the guy who has all the sponsorships. He's the one in the commercials with Damian Lillard. He's the good guy. Gervonta didn't have that stuff to fall back on if he lost this fight. To be quite frank, he was finished. Well, I don't want to say he's finished, but like this shit was real. Like if he went out and lost, you think about the domino effect. He loses this fight. The next big fights aren't coming. You're looking at a court case down the line. Like this is a big fight for him to win. So for him to go out there and put together a great performance and get the knockout, like great on him. I always respect that. But Ryan didn't go into the fight like he was all right losing. I think in his mind he was already thinking of the scenario like if I lose, I'm good. I don't gotta worry about. He's gonna have the sponsorships. He's already great image for the kids, all this stuff. People look up to him. You hear him talk about like Jesus Christ and all that stuff. So he had that to fall back on. I don't know where I was going with my thought, but why I brought up Ryan. But anyway, that's just to say, I don't think Gervonta doesn't have to put up this image of I think it's okay to be a pretty boy, or it's okay. You don't gotta be like gangster in the street or like all this stuff. I know that's where like Gervonta came from, but it's okay to be a guy like Shakur or be a guy like Haney you don't gotta involve, because with that type of lifestyle, and you involving yourself in that type of stuff and bringing that with you up until the next level. When you've made it out, there's no reason to continue that with you. I mean, I hear people say, like you can take the man out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of him. That doesn't have to be the case. You don't have to still conduct yourself in a man. I mean, Gervonta's just way better than all this. He doesn't need to be dealing with all these cases and all that stuff, but he doesn't need to hear that from me. I mean, he's got great people around him. We'll see what happens with his case, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, the answer to the video, what's next for Tank? It's either it's jail, it's Shakur or Haney. Maybe he could sneak in a tune-up in there, but I just don't know what the appeal for that would be. But it's Tank. People gonna show up. They'll sell it. I mean, Isak Cruz is like top 10 on Ring Magazine off of a loss to Gervonta and like 2 KOs. He's all the guys he fights. It's a testament to how good his resume is. Like all the guys he fights after, go on to have great careers. I'm sure like Garcia is gonna maybe become a belt holder at 140. Rolly Romero is about to be a champ at 140. Forgot who he's fighting, but the guy who he was supposed to fight for the belt, Albert Puello, pulled out with like a drug thing or whatever. So he's gonna be getting the next shot. So for the vacant belt. So he's gonna be a champ. That makes his resume great. Leo Santa Cruz is doing what he's doing. Jose Pedraza, we already know what that guy's on. Fonseca, great fighter. Isak Cruz, like I said, 2 knockouts. Mario Barrios, going up, challenging Keith Thurman. Took him to I don't know if it was a decision. It might have been a decision. Rolly, yeah, I already said that. But yeah, I mean, after people fight him, like, he just seems to get better. So, I mean, Garcia will be fine. What's next for him? Gervonta. What's next for him? Like I said, those 3 options. Jail, which it sucks that I got to say that, but it's the reality. Jail, Shakur Stevenson, or Devin Haney. I really hope we can get the Devin Haney fight. Maybe we get a tune-up, but that's what we're looking at. Not much, not more. There's nowhere to hide, nowhere to turn. Like, it's always up from here, just big fights, money fights, stuff that people are gonna come to see. Of course, if they could find an opponent that, an Isak Cruz level opponent, yeah, if they could find someone, because they sold that to me, man. Or even Rolly, who came in. Rolly, man, I didn't rate him, like, honestly, but he made you believe that he had a chance to win that fight, and then he got knocked out. So they could find someone like that, maybe, but it's those 3 guys. And then for Garcia, I mean, he's fine. He's gonna have his sponsorship. He's gonna have IG. The kids love him. The girls love him. Great image, great role model. Doing what he does. He's fine. I don't think this really hurts him as much as it would have if Gervonta lost. So he'll bounce back. He'll have a great career after this. I have no concern about that. So I guess we could talk about how they match up with each other, just real quick, because this is getting kind of long. Haney, I really don't like. Okay, so if we're talking about Shakur, I really don't like for Davis. I don't like either of these matchups for him, to be honest. Like, going into this fight, I was like, if we're looking to produce, this whole time they were saying, like, oh, the winner of this is the face of boxing, and everyone has their differing opinions on who they think the lightweight king is or who they think's the best. You know who I forgot to mention? Who we could find next? Frank Martin. I forgot. The only reason I don't want to mention Frank Martin is because, like, he's like kind of feels like he's like 1 or 2 or 3 wins away, because they're talking about him fighting Keyshawn Davis, but he's a wild card lightweight. So if they ever want to materialize that fight, it also makes sense because he's Showtime. So if they want to build him up and get him up there at some point, but it's not quite there yet. He's not there yet. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Gervonta's done everything he can. Like, now it's either he's saying the belts don't matter, but at some point they have to matter. Like, So it's only up from here. But as I was saying, a matchup between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. I really don't like that because Shakur, moves really well, very defensively responsible. Doesn't hit as hard as Gervonta, but I just don't think Gervonta would catch him. And then, Shakur, like I said, moves very well. And the one big thing that Shakur and Devin have in common that Ryan don't is that they're very disciplined fighters. I saw Ryan pull a little bit of a Pereira, what Pereira did in the fourth fight for my MMA fighters, for my MMA lovers who saw UFC 287. Pereira got a little overzealous and thought that he had Adesanya almost knocked out, which I think he had him hurt. But he goes for the kill. Adesanya tracks him in, knocks him out. We see that with Ryan. Ryan gets a little overzealous. As much as he didn't get knocked out, when he goes for that left hook, he kind of leaves himself open. We saw clips of this. We knew this. Luke Campbell, second round. Go look it up. We saw glimpses of this. We saw that this was a possibility, and same thing happens. He goes in there, gets a little overzealous, and he alluded to this in the post-fight press conference. He got a little overzealous, reached, and ultimately Javon teached. Gervonta teached him. So I definitely Shakur and Devin, both of them, they will stick to a strategy. They will not get overzealous. They're very disciplined fighters. You saw Devin, these are decision fighters. You know what I mean? Ryan, that man, he's a very exciting fighter. He can get a little jittery. He wants to get that KO. Devin and Shakur are very okay with getting a boring decision and fighting a boring fight. I said this, the reason I picked Ryan by decision is using a good strategy. Because that's another criticism I had. I don't know what John Goosen was telling Ryan Garcia. I don't know what he was telling him to do. I don't know. Their strategy was just, literally just a left hook. He started off really good with good activity and putting Gervonta on his back foot. But that's such the strategy right there. And then ultimately making this fight boring. The second that Ryan tried to make this a war and started trying to trade with him and, coming at Gervonta, that's not the world we don't, in this state of boxing climate, one thing that will never change, because when the sun comes up, it's the next day. When you get into a war with Gervonta, you're not waking up. You're going to lose, You're not coming out that other side looking good. Shakur and Devin have that IQ. That's what I'm saying. Ryan don't got that IQ quite yet. He's a young buck. Or at least he fights that way. He does some good stuff in there, but he doesn't fight the intellectuality of these young black men, Shakur and Devin. Same with Gervonta. He's very smart too, but Shakur and Devin got the skills to really get that boy problems. I think even Shakur. I think Shakur even more. I know Devin's big as hell, but Devin's a big boy too. That's why I don't have too much hope in that they'll ever even fight, because Devin he came out and said that he will not accept the rehydration clause, and he's a big guy. Some people, similar dimensions to a guy like Ryan Garcia. You see them pictures, man. He's veins flowing. He's big. You thought Ryan was big. Devin's big. And he said he won't accept the rehydration clause, so, which I understand. In this case, even though Gervonta's the more popular guy, Devin Haney's the A side. He has all the belts. He's undisputed. Obviously, this is all hypotheticals because we don't know. Lomachenko could obviously come out with the upset. But yeah, I think Shakur's next up for sure. I think that's all man. Shakur versus Devin would be crazy, but I think if you're Haney, you gotta look at a guy like Tank and be like, that's it's a good fight for me. Yeah, Shakur looking at Tank that's not a bad fight for me stylistically. And if you're Tank, always one shot away. Always, because what I know, these boys been hit by a guy like Tank before. None of them have. It's, when you're so defensively responsible, so good. The Haney got caught by Linares, the Venezuelan. Got caught by Linares. That's the only time he's really been rocked or touched in his career. Shakur, I mean, never been touched, never been, so that'll be a new experience, but yeah, I don't like those matchups for Tank. I've been saying this. He's got to stay far away from guys like Shakur or Haney, but fighting guys like who will fight into and play into his type of style, he'll always have a chance against a guy like Garcia or them action packed guys. But a disciplined fighter who will stick to a game plan and make it boring and fight their fight. Tank's gonna be on an island. He's not gonna know what to do, But yeah, I think that's it for my video. Like I said, yeah, what's next for Gervonta Tank Davis? Hopefully it's Shakur or Devin, but it's looking more like more and more as the days go on, that it's going to be time behind bars. We honestly don't hope for that. I don't wish that on anybody. It could be a very traumatic experience, and it's honestly bad for boxing. You got to start like that, behind bars, instead of out here fighting in his prime. People forget Gervonta's 29. He had like 5 years on Ryan. This is a big moment for Ryan. This is what I mean. Like, Ryan did not have much to lose, honestly, in this fight. Like, Gervonta had everything to lose. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like this is very much, Ryan was alright losing. Like, he's good. He's the younger fighter, rehydration clause, all this and that. Gervonta couldn't afford to lose. But I thought, with the dimensions, with a good strategy, yeah, I didn't like the way Ryan fought. I wish I could, I was a little, them little dolls, you can like the strings and stuff. I wish I could I would have definitely give him some different input. But I'm not Ryan. I'm not John Goosen. I'm not a boxer in any capacity. I'm just a fan. Just a man, a fan of boxing, fan of combat sports. Coming with y'all with some content. Again, I saw the last video did really good, so we just gonna keep coming out with these videos. Maybe some of this format. Y'all be seeing my face soon though, for sure. But it's like a little late night talking to y'all, give y'all my opinion, and I'll wrap it up for the video. What's next for Gervonta Davis? Jail, Shakur Stevenson, or Devin Haney? What y'all think? Leave a like on the video, subscribe. Stay tuned, man. You already know what it is. Mo Squad, we out.